Are we ready for some magic? What genre will we be in today? What kinds of new vocalizations and tricks and acrobatics will we get to discover? A chance to hear new Ado makes a good day. And no, this video is not sponsored by Trader Joe's organic ketchup. It just happened to be in the shot from a previous video I shot today. Apologies. Probably not Vegas, but Las Vegas, baby, and cool bass and synth. Listen to what she did with her breaths. We all know Ado has the lungs of a superhero, but listen to how she adds breath, inhales here, where she doesn't need to create a different dynamic and to also create this sense of depletion, even though it's right at the beginning of the song. As she steps up there, she breathes in just a little bit on the way up. Another one of those things that she doesn't need to do. It's part of that playfulness. And not only does she play with her notes in amazing ways, she even plays with the way that she uses and places her breath. Now, this section here that we just listened to is a down section. I bet this is going to get a lot bigger. But listen to how she's moderating her vocal weight in and out. Lots of vocalists that I work with have the complaint that it just sounds like they're musically talking when they sing. They're hitting notes, but it's not interesting. Listen to this section again. There's that breath thing again. We have this sense that she is light then heavy, and then she weights it up once again. Moderating her vocal weight, using her registration, using her breath, and using her placement. This is why her voice is so interesting. Well, one reason, and it's a simple way that we as vocalists can be more interesting with our own voices. Okay, key change, but we have to talk about the slidey spoken stuff. It's like we're letting air out of something. Da, 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 and then she adds the weight more at the bottom. I love stuff like this. And you hear it every now and again in songs. 21 Pilots has a song called Overcompensate where there's something sort of similar. And it just sort of drags you in and you wonder what's going to happen next because it's so atonal and initially hits you as so non-vocal and non-musical. But when they go back to diving into a particular melodic phrase, that phrase has all the more impact because they've gotten away from it for just a second. And she's using speechified, rhythmic, sort of rap-driven, tasty stuff here to rope you in even more. Again, her dynamic placement on display, right? She is so off the wall. This is not ooh, ah, it's ooh, ah, ah, ah. Try these kinds of fringy, extreme things with your own voice, even if you're not a singer, and it's going to bring out so many fun things, fun ways to express, especially as you start learning to attach them to emotion. If you'd like help doing this, and you don't quite know where to start, click the link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free singing course. I'll help you pull things out of your voice based on your inspirations you never knew were there. There's the melodic phrase after the spoken stuff that just hits you. You're ready for it. And then we have this cool modulation here. Listen to all the different belts in the midst of those lighter notes. Lots of weight moderation happening here. Yes. And then she's shouting! But just for a second. Just for a second. She's not blowing her voice out because there's so many different things going on with her vocal postures and her vocal energy that she can unload there. She can go off the rails for just a second. The phrasing on this, the motion that she creates with words is really quite cool. And then listen to these background vocals a few seconds back. She's sliding on those doubles that are out here, and then... Okay, so we have this sort of posture that's darker and authoritative, and then we have the gang back here, the right? It's nasal and bright and brash. These different characters that are placed in the mix masterfully by the production team and performed by Otto create a visual soundscape for me. It's not just the video that's happening, it's the colors that I see in my mind based on the different flavors and colors of the voice. There aren't a lot of artists that do it this well. Cool bass. That was really cool. Ooh. Oh. That top note stayed the same, and then she created all this dissonance as she walked down with that layer. Okay, let's talk about that distortion. Again, she's entering just for a moment, which is part of the charm of what she does. She goes about all these other different characters and then hits you with one. These notes, right? I just did a video on this. You can search it up. It's called We're Missing Something. But the way that she gets about her distortion is so incredibly healthy, partially because she brackets it with other things, but partially because she's loose while she's compressing into this distortion. Not this! We're not just, right? That's not that healthy. However, if we can get the notes clean and build the appropriate amount of distortion on top of clean, yeah! Never mind that it's not the tone that I really want it to be, but it's not pressure-filled, I'm not tense or anything. Then, before we just go for it and try to compress or lift something heavy, like I've talked about in other videos, we want to loosen up just a little bit. I'm sighing while remaining on pitch, or good enough, right? Close enough. And being in this real loose sort of thing. Once I have this kind of loose breakup going on that really is no taxation on my voice at all, then I add the compression, which allows me to pull a healthy amount of chest into the sound. And I can control the amount of distortion without it being torturous on my vocal cords. I can add a little with some looseness. Yeah! Or I can add more. Yeah! Either way, it's pretty light and pretty easy to sustain. You hear her doing this here, even in this small section. Loosening up, then giving it some weight. I love the key changes. I love it. And that vocal-like synth back there that's jumping around, it reminds me of how Ado sings. It might be a sample of Ado for all I know. There was an interesting melodic choice back here that I want to go back and listen to again. Magic! Not magic! Magic! Not that. It's magic! Magic! La-da. Half step there when your ear is thinking it's gonna da-da-da-da. This is just another example. She's always making you go, huh? And it causes you to listen more carefully because you don't want to miss some of these nuances. It also makes what she does sticky because you want to go back and rediscover new things. It's so deep compositionally and melodically that one listen or two listens, 10 or 100 listens isn't enough because you always want to go back for more. But it's tricky to do this because sometimes music whose goal is to be deep, it ends up not being accessible enough. Ado, in every song I've heard, she's able to strike this balance between catchy, memorable, instantly accessible, yet seemingly infinitely deep. And it's these kinds of melodic choices that are simple. They're simple to do, they're simple to hear, but they're new, they're fresh, they're at a slightly different angle, they're unexpected, and those are the kinds of things we love. Really leaning in to her chest voice and then intentionally breaking up into her head voice. She's not afraid of her vocal break, and that shows in all sorts of things that she does. Because she has the confidence to use her break intentionally, she actually runs into less unintentional voice cracks. So many singers. How do I keep my voice from cracking when I don't want it to crack? Well, create opportunities where you're intentionally cracking. I guarantee you that will help. Oh, there was a nice epiglottal engagement. Oh, that kind of distortion. That's different than the other stuff I was talking about. Oh, that one feels lower in the throat. And a lot of times people will call this a growl, and it also needs to be done in very short spurts. Well, not also, especially, because it can be kind of taxing. But she's using it shortly and as an accent, and it sounds amazing. Playful, mildly unhinged for Ado, yet very considerate, deliberate, flat out awesome. Thanks for being on this Ado journey of discovery with me. Check out way more Ado videos I've done right here. And again, if you'd like help working with your own voice, you'd like me to help you begin a journey of vocal self-discovery, click that link below in the pinned comment or video description and join my free singing course. We'll see you for more.